So today I want to talk about the new prologue for Snowbreak Containment Zone. My initial thoughts of it is, for new players, I do think it's pretty good and it does its job pretty well, which is to basically hook in new players and tell them that this is a harem game. If you're a veteran player that's looking for more deep lore, I don't really think this prologue means anything. It's basically just there to attract new players. As far as I know, if you're a returning player, you are not able to do the previous chapters until you do the prologue first, which isn't that big of a deal because the prologue is only 30 minutes, so not really much happens here. It's basically just there to hook in new players, telling them this is a harem game. That's it. As far as I know, the setting of the prologue takes place after the 1.5 arc, which I think it's New Hentaro. I'm not 100% sure. It's kind of hard for me to remember, especially since I play like multiple gachas as well, so bear with me here. Anyways, the beginning of the prologue starts with a simulation battle with Ymir, one of the great titans in Snowbreak Containment Zone. The adjutant, the MC, also basically gives us a briefing on, or gives us a little backstory about his mission to destroy the titans, and about his girls, Life, Fenny, and Acacia, who's been by his side. We get just a small backstory of Grandma Acacia, who was in the cryo sleep for 30 years due to Javos's pandemic. And the mission here in this prologue is to destroy a titaned tree in Shoujo. Otherwise, Shoujo will turn into a containment zone. Titan trees are kind of a big deal in Snowbreak Containment Zone. They're basically like the main reason why the world is in an apocalyptic state. Anyways, once the MC goes to Shoujo, he notices that the area is hella cold as a witch's tit. So he plans to set up camp before the snow gets too deep. And the adjutant decides to ask one of his 3 operatives, Life, Fenny, and Acacia, to stay behind to offer fire support, which is also a pretty dangerous job because if the snow does pile up, that means the person that stayed behind is going to have a little bit more trouble trying to keep up with the main team. Acacia ends up doing the staying behind to offer fire support, and all of a sudden the Changed attack. Now, if you don't know who the Changed are, they're basically like one of the main mobs of Snowbreak Containment Zone. They're basically just humans that got exposed to Titagen and they basically become monsters. The adjutant concludes that there must be a Titan nearby since the Changed seem very coordinated. And he was correct. However, this Titan is basically just small fry. It's not as grand as Ymir, so the adjutant and team basically take care of the Titan really easily. So the adjutant and team move forward. They eventually make a camp. The adjutant realizes that the tree that they're hunting is scared of them, which is why there has been many obstacles in the way, such as the Changed and even the severe snowstorm which is occurring right now. So the adjutant plans to go another route near a river, where we encounter even more obstacles and the area is getting even colder. The snow has gotten deeper, which is basically kind of similar to the last layer of hell in Dante's Inferno, which is like a basically like absolute zero type area. And Acacia, who offered to stay behind to provide the fire support, ends up getting lost. So the adjutant and Fenny decide to go find her, while Life basically just stays there and, make sure the camp's all right. And after firing off some signal flares, we eventually find Acacia. We get some delicious soup made by our wife Life. And at this point, the adjutant decides to ditch the equipment that they're carrying in order to get to the tree faster. Equipment being, guns and fire support and shit. Military shit, basically. Any military shit that you can think of, they basically decide to ditch it so they can just, move a little bit more quicker in this deep snow to hunt down the bitch-ass tree. As I stated earlier, the area that they're in is in a severe snowstorm condition, and it was basically very severe to the point where, they basically had to, kind of huddle together as they were walking through the snow and basically, shout out whatever they're trying to say because the snowstorm was very loud. Anyways, the team eventually, gets close to the tree and they have to fight this big baddie Lamia who had some pretty big tits. We had to kill her, unfortunately, but you know, it is what it is. And then we basically just, you know, the adjutant basically, you know, shuts down the tree. I forgot to mention earlier that the adjutant is very special. He's like the only character like in the world that can like slay these titan trees. So we killed the tree, and that's basically it. That's really all what happened towards the end of this prologue. Tao also does a she also does like a basic explanation of Snowbreak's story and all that stuff. So that's basically it. As I said before, it's basically just here to, you know, hook in new players and tell them that this is a harem game. That's basically about it. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I thought it was okay. I mean, it was just so and so, right? That's basically it. Let me know what you guys think about the prologue, and I'll see you guys later.
Bye bye now. Come again soon.